Been living out here on the ranch for almost 3 years now, and it occurred to me that every ranch needs a dedicated ranch truck. Something so that when you mosey into town, they know who's arriving. I've been collecting parts, I've been stashing parts, I've been shopping for parts, and I've been thinking of all that stuff, and it all starts with this little jewel. It's a classic piece of Americana. You know, here at Envisioning Central, we like to start off with projects that have a lot of missing parts. It really keeps the mind free to explore the possibilities. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, it doesn't look much like a ranch truck. And the only reason for that is because a good 70% of the vehicle is missing. That's not a concern for me. I've thought it all through. I've thought part of it through, and here we are. What could possibly go wrong? You know, I'm not one to give stuff away. This Model T has been hanging around for a bit, but I knew it had a ton of potential. What am I gonna do? Put in the old-fashioned engine and putt along at 30 miles an hour? Oh no, this is where it gets real good. I'll be right back. This must be what it feels like to be a Formula One driver, except, you know, in a Pinto. I mean, 2.3 liters of fury. You can just mash the pedal to the floor on this thing and not worry about it. It's like a go-kart, it's fun. A fine machine. I tell you, they don't make them like they used to. What we have here is a perfectly good, perfectly hot-wired Ford Pinto. And I was thinking, Model T had a 4-cylinder. This is a 4-cylinder Ford. Why the heck not? Ford engine in a Ford project. I just like to keep it that way on certain occasions. So if I could update my Model T from the factory brochure, I would order 2.3 liter with an automatic transmission. It's a perfect donor. I want it to look like an antique, you know? I don't want it to be a restoration. I want this power and ease of shifting with the Ford Pinto and automatic transmission. Sounds simple, you know, it's real easy to describe something, but this was never designed for anything with, say, 100 horsepower. So definitely have to upgrade the strength of the chassis, but the first thing is just the fitment of the engine. I know it's physically bigger than the original engine, and I gotta see how that's gonna work out. You know, in classic old school fashion, you're gonna wear what you got, right? If you only got one pair of shoes, you're getting them on somehow. In simplest terms, this is the classic shoehorn technique. You know, you hear it, wow, they must have shoehorned that engine into that car. Yes, literally. Heck yeah. See, now the motor mount is in that C channel. That's what I was going for. So I think the simplest solution is I made 4 of these tabs that fit inside this C of the chassis, so I can weld in there, and then the original motor mounts, the bolts go right through. I really want to keep the same formula for the transmission mount. I'm going to leave all the stock pieces in place and then attach it to the chassis. You can see is the original cross-member transmission mount from the Pinto. It's going to hang right on this surface. It'll get drilled through, and then this will sit right on top of that. And the little wrench comes in real handy with this. Put your little wrench on there, and yeah, give it a pull. Well, the coolest factor of these Model Ts is back in the day, there were no roads, so everything was off-road. It's a perfect runabout, you know, just for getting into town and back. So what I did here was I set this plate on top of the frame, so that's just sitting there like a cradle, and I set this side under the frame. So that way when I unbolt it, I can just drop it out and get rid of it. That is step 1 in the 500 steps of this simple project. We're making progress on the mechanical. I got some really cool ideas for this ranch buggy. I'm talking about the style. On to the good part. Notice anything different?
I see a lot different.
The thing with this is, you know, I need a ranch truck, right? You see what I'm driving. I want something with character. You know, when I show up at Carl's Hardware, everybody knows who's coming to town.
Yeah, this is rad.
You know, Alan is well versed in custom work and creativity. He works on the fly a lot like me, and I'm sure that he is not concerned with a venture into the unknown. Check out the Harley exhaust.
I love it. I love it.
I was going to use the Model T exhaust, and then I remembered I had these chopper fishtails.
Yeah.
So I just put it into a single. I used both tubes and put them together. You're a really talented fabricator, right? You got the paint skills, you got the bodywork skills. How's your carpentry?
I think I know what a square is.
Okay. Let's throw this on. I'll show you what I'm thinking. As usual, I like to loosely assemble all the pieces and then see how it fits together. You know, I wanted like a truck, but not like a pickup truck, like a van body with a roof that comes over, like a sea cab, but a wooden body.
A cab.
You know, I'm not one to tout my own merits, but this may be my greatest achievement of all time. The envisioning board, the full-size sketch pad, Da Vinci, Einstein, the greats. I'm standing on their shoulders and I feel that I've arrived. See how I jacked it up in the back with that rake? So that's kind of what I was thinking, like it would have that stance, you know, so it's not fully Model T. You know, a lot of times you'll see where it's like, you know, kind of like a that shape, right?
Right.
It kind of takes away from that nose down look.
It kind of does. It's almost like they kept the buggy look where the man stood there holding the reins.
Right, exactly. First step is to figure out the seat height. You don't want to be looking up over the windshield. Fortunately, Alan's about the same size as me, so he's the guinea pig. All right, it's all you.
Oh, let me see.
Oh, that's it, man. You're in the car. It's perfect. That's the height.
That's the height.
Yeah.
It feels comfortable.
You could theorize all day long about the look and proportion, or we can use Ian's envisioning board. That's a take. Take that drill, and right where your shoulder blade is, drill a hole right through. Perfect. Right where your knee is, you're bent. Now right where your ear is. Right where your nose is. Right where you'd like to be holding the steering wheel. Directly across from your belt buckle.
Belt buckle?
One for your pancreas.
Where's my pancreas? Is it right here? There you go.
Now, we have a clear and decisive layout.
Nice.
Perfect start.
So, it was the ear, right?
I don't know. Ian Martin? Yeah. Hey, all I said was I had a good idea and didn't say I had it all figured out. So if this is your ear, and you would just be inside it.
So you can barely see you as you're driving.
Yeah, just want to kind of be in it.
Seeing this opening, I just get this like 70s feel. I don't know why. I get this 70s feel. It's just, you know, now I'm starting to feel it now.
Look how tall it is.
It is tall.
That's a freaking tall truck.
I'm digging it. I'm digging it.
You know, this is the process of refinement. You start with an idea and you just keep honing it. So this is round. Trace that thing. Seeing like a real life size representation, you know, really helps the process along. How's that look?
Yeah, it's perfect. It really is. You see a little bit of your knee, see your leg a little bit.
Feels comfortable. It's like you're here and then you see somebody you don't want to see. Well, that settles it. Next step is to take the template and transfer it to the wood, you know, full size, full strength, and it's really gonna flesh this thing out. My favorite part of the project is like the first 10 minutes of it, right? Where you just bring that idea to reality. I think that's our line, man. I'm digging it.
I like the round. The round says hot rod to me.
Yeah, once we were talking about C-cab, I'm like, oh yeah, just like wide open, you know? If it was a delivery vehicle, no doors or anything, you just hop in and hop out. Prepare to enter the C-cab. Yep, looks difficult to get in. That makes it a show car. Oh yeah.
Beep, beep.
It doesn't matter if I fit in it. I don't even concern myself with that stuff. I got something here from Speedway that's gonna seal the deal. It's exactly what every Model T needs. Aha. Perfect.
I love it, yes.
We got the look, we got the sound, we are on our way. Now that we have the template, we'll transfer it to our final skin and complete the structure. Because this is a transition, this is gonna be like a subframe inside the roof, and then the actual body will go around this. It's time for the school glue. A big concern for me was how are we gonna put this thing together, right? So typically, you know, you put a nail in the wood or a screw and you see the head, and I'm like, no, this is more like furniture, like cabinet work. So I concocted this idea of a subframe or substructure inside, and then the fasteners were reversed. That looks like a C-cab roof, don't it? We gotta get in the business of furniture making, man. We could build a couch. Definitely in the cartoon realm, this is where I thrive. Oh yes. The absurdity is just beginning. I love it.
The roof line looks really good.
I got 2 words for this. Groovy. Let's put this insert in and see what happens then. Oh yeah, look, it fits the windshield perfect too. There's nothing like 3-dimensional representation, life size. This thing is way cooler than I thought when we hung up those boards on the rafters. It's big.
Looks like a Hot Wheels almost.
Oh yeah, totally cool. You know, I gotta say, the envisioning process and assembly of this went way smoother than expected. It's exactly what I was thinking. A little bit of nonsense and a lot of fashion. The C-cab's really coming along. Alan and I just followed through that same process, front to back. We laid it out, squared it up, screwed and glued the entire assembly together, then skinned the roof with masonite. So all that hard work led up to this. The construction of this thing is pretty much there. It's just now, what does it look like? From here up, I love it. From here down, I have concerns. I don't really like this tone. I don't want to drive this truck. And then I don't like this either. So, you know, Model Ts were black, and I'm thinking, well, I want a wooden body, and I don't want to really paint it. I got a little leftover auto paint, and I want to experiment. Experimentation is the spice of life, you know? Sometimes just taking a whisk, you get the reward. You could primer this thing and bodywork and do the whole deal, but I want it to look like a wooden body. It could just look like fiberglass, you know, when you're done. But I was thinking if I take a rag, kind of like staining, I could do a test piece, or I could just put it on the truck. I think I'm gonna go for the latter. Yeah, I like to go all in. No test piece, just go for it. Adapt, carry through. This is my process, you know, because either way, you did something. It's better than sitting there and doing nothing. I feel a little like Bob Ross, the master, right? All this happy little wood grain, we're trying to enhance it. The vapors coming out of this auto paint bucket are really working for me. A totally different mood. You know, I think I'm gonna try this on the side too. Part of the process is accepting the fact that every shot might not be a straight line to the finish. The things you can't plan for are usually, you know, in my opinion, the coolest thing ever. Well, I've achieved something. Black really did knock the yellow down. We still got 2 tones of finish. I like that. I think it still needs some development. I want to get this thing off the jack stands and on the ground. Now that I hit this positive note, I want to fix something that's just been on my mind. It's been bugging me since we started this thing. I've had these for years, and now I finally have a purpose for them. Wheels and tires are one of the big statements of the vehicle, right? It's like, well, what is it? Is it a cruiser? Is it a race car? Is it a monster truck? What is it? What is this thing? I'm asking you, what is this thing? These are 32 Ford rims and these cool Excelsior racing tires. The look of these rims is classic. I mean, imagine if I did this whole C-cab project and left those dirt track tires on it all the way around. 4 good used tires. I think it's the perfect option. The big problem is the 32 Ford bolt pattern doesn't match the Model T and it doesn't match the Ford Pinto, but I got a plan. We got 3 different bolt patterns going on here. The Model T rims in the front, the Pinto rims in the back, and these 32 Ford rims, they're all different. I had my friends over at Send Cut Send. They're really cool. You send them a drawing of what you want, they cut it, and then they send it back. So it's perfect laser cut steel plate. They also set up the bolt patterns for me. This is the 32 Ford rim bolt pattern, and this is the Pinto bolt pattern. All I gotta do is start drilling. You gotta be careful with wheel adapters. You know, not all bolt patterns are meant to be paired together. So the 4-lug to 5-lug conversion gets a little tricky. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. Is it gonna fit? This is one thing I was worried about. I'm glad it's not directly rubbing, but it's close. Exactly what I was looking for. Simple, clean, old-fashioned. What was on there was pretty weird. What's on there now is just right. The next challenge is the front. That Pinto engine is significantly bigger than what was there. So we got a couple problems, as usual. Sometimes when I'm deep in a project, I just wake up in the middle of the night, shocked and sweating. I had trouble sleeping last night. That typical thing, the big question mark, what to do about this paint job. I came out here first thing in my nightcap and socks. I sprayed that side black, and I gotta say I'm happy with it. Am I compromising the airflow from this fan? Absolutely. Is it gonna overheat? That's hot rodding. So it looks like it's gonna work. And you know, the only thing that's gonna tell is testing it. But man, if I rev this thing and it starts nipping on the radiator, that could be the end of it. Ooh, ah. Even in 1923, the engineering and the thought, it was preparing this car for the rough roads ahead. And I'll tell you, this hardware is pretty interesting. It's like a suspension for the radiator. I just think it's so cool because it's like the simplest form of suspension. The way it's laid out with the springs, it's gonna stay where you put it and it's gonna hop around a little without destroying itself. So if this thing does go bouncing around on desert, you got a little shimmy to the shake. So this looks good for sure, it'll cool it. But I'm looking for something a little bit more like the Model T, you know? That aluminum is way too bright. I know just what to do. All of a sudden, period correct. Look at that. That looks old-fashioned, wouldn't you say? The big stickler in selling the antique look is keeping this hood in place. Nobody sees what's going on in the engine, you know, the sleeper factor. This is where our problem begins. So if we were to scrub a line straight through, you got an alternator bracket, got an intake manifold, we got a dipstick. So it looks to me like we're gonna have to cut that hood pretty good. That's not very stealthy in my opinion. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Desperate times call for desperate measures. There's no way this thing's going without a hood. See, I got that dipstick tucked out of the way, no problemo. If you're an auto purist and somehow made it this far in the show, I suggest you cover your eyes. It's about to get real. You know what that means? I'm gonna have to cut into this original hood, and I ain't scared. Okay, maybe I'm not that nervous, but I do feel a slight tug on the nostalgia heartstrings. Scratch the paintwork. Aha! What's going on in that Model T? It's just a matter of chipping away at all these culprits. You know, some stuff can stay, some stuff can be modified, but this alternator is a major factor. Who'da thunk? Actually makes them a little more aggressive. That's gonna work. I don't know what I'm gonna do in the end for these two things, but I wanna put these headlights on to see how they look. Looks like all the mechanical stuff is gonna clear. We'll see what this develops into. The headlights are gonna tell me. I think this is gonna seal the deal on the front end. These two prime specimens. These into the real deal Model T lamps. They look like they belong there. It's actually a Model T. Nobody knows that there's a Pinto in there. I love it. The final element, the crown jewel. Thing that says you're meant to ride like the wind. Everything's lining up. I'm putting the final trim parts on this, and it just needs a little bit something. I've been struggling with this. You know what they say, it ain't over till it's over. And it ain't over yet. It's getting close to drive time. It's gonna be a wild ride. Moving right along on this buggy, we're getting all the little things in place. We got rid of all that yellow wood tone. Everything's painted black. Getting the wiring progressed. It's almost ready to go down the road. There's just one final thing. We've been busy. This Pinto engine's a little bit more modern than the Model T, so I added a fuse block. And one cool thing I'm doing is I'm routing it all into the stock dash. So it's pretty groovy. The original key will actually start it. It's pretty neat, these old-fashioned switches. I was able to open it up, find out what terminal matched to what, and I just wired it in place of the other stuff. But it's not all daisies in custom buggy land. But sitting back here looking at it, it's like, man, what else could I possibly do? I think the sides are just a little too bland. It's just a real big panel. There's a lot of action with the hardware on the windshield, with the lights, the way that the running boards, it's all very dimensional. And then you have this long, flat side. It's like it needs something. Everything's fair game when I'm working on a new project. That's kind of sacrilege. This would drive people nuts. I just might do that. This one might actually fly. I mean, it's only natural, when the shop is full of signage and you're looking for some kind of element on the side of this thing, it's like, hey, what about a sign? That'd be pretty groovy. Thing is, this is a pretty classy rig, right? So to comic it up, to put something funny on it just might not fit. I'm thinking conservative. We can mark this day in history. That's right. I said it needs something conservative. I started thinking oval, like an oval window. It's like, well, it's a Ford, and Ford is a blue oval, right? I mean, I got this sign, and it's definitely more appropriate than the Chevy rectangle, right? I'm not really feeling the blue, but still the old envisioning device. That works. I like that. It needs to be antique, and that's the right script. It's old school, Ford, It's like headlights had it. It was on the grill shell. I just think hanging a sign on the side is gonna be a little bit like not what I'm looking for. I got an idea that just might enhance it a little bit. Check this out. The Ford oval, right? It's not complicated. It fits the bill. It's the iconic emblem. Why wouldn't it be there? It's gonna take a little something to fit it up, but I think it's a good progress point. I was thinking from the start, like an oval window, and I was like, why would it need a window? But you could see that would play, for sure. Just like making a custom bumper or a chop top, the modification should look like it belongs, like it was always there. That was a little dustier than expected. But I think that this edge is gonna be really set off if I make it black, like that. I think we can kill two birds with one stone here. I definitely need a piece that's gonna support the signage, but I think we could also enhance the look of the interior with the same panel. Kind of a double whammy. Yeah, see, nice and clean. It just gives that interior like some kind of like reason. I really want this to look like a picture frame, It's like it's really amplify the fact that it's inset. So by painting the edge, it's gonna draw your eye inward towards the sign. I like it, but the blue's still bugging me. If you don't like it, spray it black. That's my motto for this vintage vehicle. Getting rid of the blue really helps. What if I took that part back? It's like I kind of like having it look like brush strokes like that. Kind of looks almost hand-painted if I just do it like that. It's super antiqued. Finger painting, it's not just for kindergarten. I couldn't have hoped for better on that sign. You could see it's that oval shape, it's recessed, and it looks antique. It looks good. The whole thing here is, you know, this is the artist's canvas, right? There's bound to be a little overspray. We'll work through all that in the end. I made that template to duplicate it on the other side. I'm gonna do the same process. A few more minor details and this chuck wagon is ready to chuck, or something like that. He got this Model T project finished up and in gear. My favorite thing about it is just that old time feel. I dubbed the Mr. T. I pity the fool that doesn't like this car. I mean, this thing is a pretty unique mashup. It feels like an antique car, exactly what I was looking for. The thing was, I started just with the idea, right? 27 ranch truck. Once Alan and I started collaborating, you know, we got the plywood out, we got some 2x4s out, and really we developed the look of this C-cab body, and I gotta say, it's beyond my expectation. It's got the old Model T steering column, Model T switches, a little old, a little new. It's definitely got the flavor. A huge part of this was the visual statement it's gonna make, and my friend Gilbert, the pinstripe master, he came by and did his number to the sides of this thing, and it's perfect. I didn't want to get into this restoration. I just want it to be functional, and everything I added to it, I want to make it count. It's got the big giant eyeball headlights in the front. It looks like a classic vehicle, but it's got a little trick underneath. I got it wired up, I got it fired up. Now it's time for the true test. This thing is engineered to cross the Great Desert and go all the way to the market. Taking it for the shakedown run, no surprises, fortunately. Reliability of this engine transplant, smooth, hard acceleration, not all the gadgets you gotta do with the Model T. Pinto power. The thing drives awesome. I was super surprised because that Pinto was pretty busted. Wait till we hit second. Whoa. The driving experience of something like this on a dirt road is just mind-numbing. It's teeth chattering. Old school. You take a corner, you're going across the seat. It barely stops because there's only rear brakes. It's got way too much power for the whole thing. It's over the ruts, it goes in the berms, over freaking mud piles. It's a heck of a ride. No stoplights, no seat belts, nothing between you and your destiny but this plate glass window. My first statement was, I want a ranch truck, right? Of course, do I do anything that's absolutely functional? Heck no. And I was allowed to do exactly what I want. And that was wing it. I had all these components. I had an idea how they could be retrofitted together, and I just went for it. Sort of an experiment with a strong reward. And man, Model T, it's definitely a cool rig. The thing about walking into an empty shop is, it's a blank slate. Anything could happen. I've been thinking, dreaming, you know, what could I possibly do? Bigger, better, weirder, more. A brand new perception of reality. Something in the great outdoors. I mean, the benefit of being in the television industry is you can have any kind of backdrop you want. You know, you just call up the prop guy. It's like, hey, today I need like a dormant 10,000-year-old volcano in the backdrop. No problem. They set up these cardboard cutouts. It looks perfect. My brain is taking me to a peculiar place right now. Look at this fine piece of machinery. Didn't think I was gonna get rid of this one, did you? In my world, every project starts with a good pile of parts. You know, all the potential and stir it together. My envisioning process has led me to the conclusion that these tires are the appropriate tires for the project. You know what I mean? Right away, you start to imagine things. From a 25-inch tire to a 40-inch tire, and then whatever it takes to get there. That's all I have to see. It's a natural fit. What more is there to say? Don't get distracted by the details. I know that this Pinto has no drivetrain, and yes, the tires are taller than the hood, but I've got plans. This thing got taken out of commission. It was a roadie rig for bands. It pulled this huge stage, had a generator in it. I built it for my friend Rich years ago. When it went out of service, he's like, Ian, you gotta have the flame. The flame truck belongs on your ranch. But we're not here to talk about the flame truck. We're talking about what's inside, you know? It's what's inside that counts. It's another gift from another friend. This one is from my friend John. He said, dude, that Pinto you're building, I'm feeling you. I got just the stuff. Once I start spreading the word about my cockamamie ideas, seems like people are all jumping on board. And as usual, someone steps up with just the right stuff. Right here is another example of good used trash. It's a 77 Dodge Ram chassis, full-time four-wheel drive. It's got a skyjacker suspension lift. It's got these cool shocks. It's got gears in it for big tires. Perfect for that Pinto project. Let's drop her down and see what she's got. Right there, you can clearly see something's hitting. Engine is much too wide. This Pinto came with an inline 4-cylinder engine. This truck has a big V8, so it's kind of like stuffing a 15-pound cat in a 2-pound mousetrap. I can clearly see two major issues. I don't want to see the valve covers under the freaking subframe. Secondly, look at the back of this frame. It looks like it's about 20 inches difference. I gotta say, there's a million reasons one might turn back on a project like this right now, forget all about it. But that is not the full custom way. We're gonna put on the blinders, focus on one task, and continue on. Time for the chassis reduction. I'm feeling positive. I've wanted to do this my whole life. Truly, I've wanted to do this since I was a little kid. The first drawings I used to make, I would draw 2 circles as close together as possible, and then I'd put a car body on it. That is clearly, you know, the lightning in the bottle moment. So when you're a kid and something thrills you, that's real. So to trap that, save it, and then express it, that's where the magic happens. I've never done a 4-wheel drive before. You know, this is my first 4x4. I can't wait to make a complete mockery of the whole scene and have a blast doing it. So what I want to do is I want to set up 2 rails across the top here. So I'm going to temporarily weld it in up here, and it'll clamp here. So when I open this 20-inch section up, this comes forward and I can build the new chassis underneath. There is a madness to this method, I gotta tell you. So I have my reference point, end point, end point. So now I have to take this out, put it back on the rail. We can roll this puppy straight ahead until it hits the point of reference. Now that I have all that lined up and established, locked in, I can take off the rest of the chassis and the piece of the cross member that I'm going to replace for the transmission. I mean, you've heard of the horse whisperer, or the dog whisperer, or whatever. I'm clearly the junk whisperer. And what this chassis is telling me is it wants to be the full custom mini monster truck Pinto. Love the smell of burnt Dodge in the evening. Now that's a large transmission mount. Before the creative envisioning begins, I gotta get all the structural elements in place, and this one's a little bit more involved. My plan is to create a transmission mount that attaches to my newly formed frame rails. We're just gonna use part of this because we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. Trying to reinvent the transmission mount. And have I mentioned that this is the first 4-wheel drive vehicle I've ever fabricated on? You learn something new every day. Drive shaft comes out both ends. You can't put the cross member in like this because you can't put the front drive shaft on. What we need is a large ring for the drive shaft to pass through. And then we can weld it to the ring. Let's go find a ring. I've said it once, I've said it a million times. There's nothing like a big old pile of parts when you need it. You know, like the steering wheel is not strong enough. It's way too big. Like this bucket is about the right diameter, but it's too thin. Maybe this CO2 bottle. These are really strong, thick-walled, and it's about the diameter what I'm looking for. Now, I've cut the bottom off these a million times. They make really good wind chimes when you hang them up. Hear that? Every time I'm walking around back here, I have a general idea of what I have, but their applications vary. So if it looks like a lawn chair, it could be a speedboat. If it looks like a dumbbell, it could be the guy who owns the property. I mean, if it looks like a steering wheel, it could be a ring toss game. I don't know. I'm just building cars here. Help me out. So maybe I'll just take a section out of that. It's a starting point. The worst thing I can do is take it back to the shop and it won't work, right? Bottom line is, I always find something, whether it works or not, that's debatable. Don't try this at home. I mean, I know this one's empty, but if you try to cut one of these with some gas in there, you'd be in for an event, I'll tell you what. Of course, the shop inspectors are nowhere to be found when there's a potentially dangerous situation. I guess I should just consider myself lucky. Okay, drive shaft passes through it, okay? So now I can proceed with my mount as planned. It'll allow the drive shaft to be installed as it should be, and this car should be able to drive up and over anything in its way. Everything so far is pure guesswork. That's why the chassis is in its developmental stage. I still got some details in the front to finish. I want to refine the transmission hanger, but until you put that body on, anything could happen. I don't know what I did wrong yet. I did a little hacking in here, and you can see this car's got a little off-road experience already. It's good news. I'm gonna keep the car raised up a bit, about 6 inches off of the chassis, just so I can figure out what needs to be cut away to bring them together. Touchdown. Now, before you get all judgmental on my Frankenstein concept, just work with me. Beauty takes time. You're gonna get the message. I just gotta set up the pieces. And that looks appropriate, actually. I tell you, that wheelbase looks spot on. So the tire and the wheel well are pretty much what I want to see. I love those aluminum wheel moldings. That makes it look like a Pinto. I don't want to modify anything on a Pinto body, so it should look like a toy car perched up on top of a Tonka truck chassis. That's what I'm going for. Starting to look like the Alabama Slammer, one of them trucking trials out in the mud bog. She's a biggin'. This is where I'm headed. Getting 20 inches out of that chassis sealed the deal. Nothing can stop us now, except maybe the next step. I have a plan. Definitely don't want that stock bumper, so it's a full custom opportunity. Something that really just shows off, the line of the Pinto sheet metal instead of this big add-on safety bumper. But this thing's gotta be, I don't know, 10 inches top to bottom. It brings me back to the Volkswagen. You ever see those bugs from the 60s where they had the little overrider over the bumper? I think that's where I want to start, just to see how that feels. The two angles represented, definitely match the Pinto. You're coming in straight across. Actually, that's kind of cool. Look at that. Wow, what if it actually had this bumper to protect the taillights? That would be pretty aggressive. You know what it's about, all the envisioning, where you set back and check it out. That's what I'm talking about. Usually when I don't know what the heck I'm doing, I put something in place and then move on. All about the stick it and move technique. I was trying to just do something to fill in this space, but I felt it would look too bottom heavy, like somebody with a terrible underbite, like, oh, look what he did. But instead, I'm gonna build a huge facade to make it like it never even happened. Big Band-Aid on a small wound. Works every time. I have these bends left over from another project. I like it. All I'm gonna do is just change the whole concept. In the conceptual stage of things, one must free their mind, like a buoy in the ocean, untethered, floating wherever fate takes you. Hopefully, that's not out to sea. Big Band-Aid definitely turned into something. I don't know what it is yet, but it's something. Couple support pieces, and this train is moving down the line. What I want to see here is a cap. Maybe there's a trailer hitch you step off, and then you got this that you can kind of perch on. What I want is a perch, and I don't mean a fish. I mean like a step. There is a hint of the post-apocalyptic vibe with this ride, so yeah, I mean, showing off a little raw metal work, it would fit the bill. Yeah, something like that. Going in for some grub. Yeah, right, you got a little rail and a step. It's the whole concept here. Looking at this rear bumper, it really helps the shape of the car. The Pinto's kind of diamond shaped. It goes on the roof, goes down the sides, hits the taillights, comes back under. The bumper follows that shape. You know, I really, at the beginning of the day, didn't know what I was building. I like this idea. It's kind of a weird abstract bench on the back. Perfect. We carry that theme over to the front, and then see how they work together. On to the next. I am feeling good about the bumper project. I got this rear bumper right where I need it. I was surprised. It was not really thought out until I got into it. Worked out well. In keeping with the same flavor, moved up to the front, and I put something super heavy duty. Something that looks like it's like that hey Kool-Aid kind of guy bashing through the wall. You know, cartoon style, right? Followed these shapes in the grill. See, I peeked these out a little bit more in the center, a little less, so it's like it grew a big lower bumper. It looked like two really separate pieces, the chassis and the body, but these two components, you know, the fabrication makes it all come together. Ultimate monster truck? Probably not. Super cool custom vehicle? Maybe. In my old age, I don't know, it's gonna be tough. I mean, all kinds of stuff could go wrong. I think it's gonna need something a little bit different. I feel like I wanna, you know, when I'm coming up to this, like I wanna grab something. This car came with a roof rack, but it no longer is there. So you got 2, 4, 6, 8 mounting holes. Why not just make another roof rack? Be super secure, it grips the whole top of the car, 2 rails you can grab onto. And then we surely won't be able to get the car out of the shop door with this thing installed. It'll be awesome. Look at that. Symmetry. And now we figure out how deep's the basket gonna be. Is it gonna be 10 feet deep? No, that won't even fit in the shop. Is it gonna be 10 inches deep? How do you feel? Too tall? I agree, too tall. I want that basket 5 inches deep. Start with 8 of these and see how it looks. I don't know, let's just throw it up there and see what we got. Like a wise man once said, be prepared, right? So the roof rack is a standard issue on so many off-road vehicles. Also helps a little should you roll over. This is a keeper. All I can say is it fits the bill. Everything on this accessory-wise is round tube. This is a smaller diameter than the heavy bumpers. It looks perfect up there. I have yet to hear the engine run, so if you know my track record, you know that there could be trouble ahead. It's great to have Dave here. He's well-versed with these old Dodges, and he swears we can get it to run. You gotta choose your battles. You know, I wage my war with the envisioning process. The mechanics are very, like, pretty much as long as it has a go pedal and a stop pedal, that's as deep as I'm into it.
Engines are my thing.
I mean, that's the coolest thing about finding people who like the mechanical aspect of it because they get into that, right? Troubleshoot this, address it, you know, I can dig it. I don't know if this is gonna stay here permanently, you know, in ratchet straps, but it's a start. We got carburation. Woohoo! We got starting. This is when it always gets exciting. Fire extinguishers right there. Hoping for the best, but always preparing for the worst.
It's gonna start.
That's what the guy said the last time he parked it. I'm not one to immediately whip out the camera, but I'm also never gonna miss the opportunity for some high drama. All right, don't be nervous, it's all you. All eyes on you, Dave. You know, I'm usually the one with the camera pointed at me when something could go wrong. What? I was just giving him some sass, you know, tension's high. Nothing like just stirring the pot a little. It's a runner. I gotta say, I've heard a lot of engines run, and this is on par with the rest of my half-baked ideas. Is it gonna win some races? Probably not. Is it gonna overheat? Maybe. Is it gonna keep running? We hope so. It's my favorite part of the project, when it really starts to get weird.
I'm all ears.
Thinking of a paint job. Something I'll really take this into the unknown territories. My friend Alan lives just down the road, and he's seen this mini monster truck's progression. I think he's got a perfect set of eyeballs and 2 good hands to help me with this next step. So I'm thinking about the 70s, as usual. That's nothing new. If you were to draw some lines on this car, you're thinking outlaw stuff, you're thinking race car stuff, you're thinking the general vibe of the 70s. I mean, what would you want to do paint-wise on this?
Definitely need some flavor in there.
Yeah, it looks like grandma's grocery getter, right?
Oh, yeah.
I want something that really pops.
What colors are you thinking?
See that sign on the wall? Come in for a cool treat, right? Represents the color wheel pretty good. So
It really does.
those are the options we're dealing with. Something that really stands out. It's a bit of color theory, if you will. Any kind of commercial, in-your-face signage will have contrasting colors. And that's one to grow on. It's really hard to mess with old original stuff, you know? This has been aging gracefully since 1977, and here we are wanting to apply something new to it and make it match. You know, I thought that maybe not using a gloss auto paint would help us kind of blend the two.
I'm thinking about all these candies and all these paints, and I want him to order for me, and then I get here and he gives me 3 rattle cans, and he's like, here you go, man, go for it. And I'm like, where are we going with this?
Let's see what it does. Hit it.
And we're off.
We're in a frenzy of tape and masking. It's kind of like when you gotta hit it, you gotta hit it, and that's where we're at right now. The only trick that I have is keep looking at what he's doing and try to keep up. I just want to see what this looks like. Could be cool, could be a creamsicle, I don't know.
Ooh, look at these lines.
That's pretty cool. It's a good contrast, that's what I was hoping for. That really changed it.
Makes it look sporty. It gives it that big boy, tough boy look.
Now that we took the blue tape off, it's like it's missing something. You know, the blue color really added to that. You know, imagine like a border, right? All of a sudden, it's starting to look like that ambulance in the Cannonball Run.
And I think if we did a decent sized blue line on the bottom and then at the top, pinstripe it with 2 little blue lines.
Oh, now you're getting even fancier. I like that.
I like fancy a little bit.
This is a pretty simple layout, too. Imagine those lowrider paint jobs where you have all of this negative represented in various colors. Sometimes this is white, and sometimes it's orange, and sometimes the green is orange, and sometimes the blue is orange, but also the blue could be white, depending on where it is.
You lost me in all that.
Yeah. Names are hard to come by, you know? When you find one that sticks, it's really gratifying. Well, there was a great mystery since I got this Pinto. On the back panel there, it said P71. And I'm thinking, I gotta find out. So sure enough, I put it on Google. What does P71 stand for? And it says P71 is a prefix in the Crown Victoria police car VIN code. Why is it on a Pinto? I don't know. My wife, Jamie, she said, it's the Pinterceptor. That's why. Hats off, milady. You win. The Pinterceptor. Perfect. While we're waiting for the Masked Monsters paint to dry, I'm going to engage Alan's other talents, some of the metal forming skills. One of the things this vehicle is lacking is a dashboard, and I got an idea to handle that situation. I've been saving this piece of sheet metal for whatever reason, because look, it was laying outside under the gutter, and it made this perfect like splash drip pattern from all the rain we've been having.
What I'm learning every day is be surprised.
If this went on the driver's side of the dash, you'd have this kind of weird, rusty, patinaed orange effect on the dashboard, right?
That's right, almost looks like a rusted sun.
Yeah, right. It's just keeping with the au naturel theme, you know? Dashboard, smorgasbord.
He's got this build in his head. He wants to build this awesome car. I know it's gonna be great at the end, so I'm never worried or never scared. And we do whatever it takes to make it that way.
And then it's gonna go down where this thing fits on, and then it's gonna ham edge under to give it some strength. The style I'm going for with the dashboard on this is minimalist. I got an old piece of sheet metal and some kind of piece from an old pickup truck. Might as well just make something handmade.
He's trying to prove that you can work with, you know, things that are affordable to anybody and make something great and fun. That's what I think separates him from a lot of builders, you know what I mean? Is that he doesn't think he knows it all, he just loves doing it. He loves that everybody else loves doing it.
Sweet, look at that. Does that look like a dashboard to you? Looks like a dashboard to me.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's mark it at 55. Yeah, right to the edge of that block.
Woo, look at that thing there.
I think we're ready for the door test, man.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, see how it works right here?
Wow, look at that. What are you gonna do about this windshield?
As is, baby, bullet holes. It was out in the wasteland. It met up with some rogue travelers, popped a few rounds at it. The Pinterceptor is bound to have bullet holes.
You know it. This thing looks like it's been through some action.
Once the gauges arrive, I'll install them, wire it up, and this dash will be a dashing example of instrument readout. I gotta say, dashboards are fun, but the idea of what's lurking beneath this paint mask, I'm ready. I was born
You ready? I was born ready
I was
too.
ready before the paint even dried.
Hey, me too.
Let's see what it looks like. You know, unmasking a car is kind of like the great trek up the mountains in the fog. You never know really where you're heading. Are you at the apex, or are you just at the beginning of another climb? Oh man, look at that top line, dude.
Yeah.
I gotta say, man, I think your double line's a winner.
In the moment, the pressure does come to me a little bit nerve-wracking because we're working with rattle can. Good work doesn't just happen. You got to make it happen.
Yeah, these colors are. It's looking kind of like the orange dreamsicle. We just wanted to make a nice, simple graphic, and it puts a nice flow right through the car. Simple, effective.
Way cool.
I needed this paint job nailed. I got a couple things to detail, and this is ready to rock. I can hear the great beyond beckoning. Our first desert Pinto cruise is just around the corner.
No, I can't wait. I cannot wait.
This mini monster truck is ready to rock. Time to show Alan what I've been up to.
Wow. Holy for holy, man. No, wow. Well, look at it. Look at the size of these tires.
Yeah, it's a giant toy truck, right? Alan's really been an asset in all these projects lately, and this one was the same deal. You wouldn't expect to see 40-inch tires fit a Pinto, but there you go, it works, right?
And look good.
Yeah.
Wow. Just wow. It's taller than I am.
Takes the economy car to the next level. I'm very satisfied with the look of this. It's exactly the cartoon proportions I was looking for. It's like something you'd see in a comic strip. It's the Pinterceptor.
It's the Pinterceptor.
It's got the lights, it's got the authority. This is the regulator of the Wild West. Once we establish the name, I want to bring the full Pinterceptor feeling to the vehicle. Something that was out to get the bad guys, smash through whatever it needed to, light up what it needed to, and ultimately bring the law and order back to the Outback.
Face of this thing looks so aggressive. It looks like it's coming at you and it's angry and it's smiling at you because it's about to eat you up.
But then as big a truck as this is, it's still a Pinto inside. Check out the dashboard. Got 5 gauges, got some switches, got a little ashtray. I put an ashtray in because, I don't know, I guess in the post-apocalyptic world, you might need a cigar. I have one guilty confession.
What's that?
I actually built the entire project just for the PA system. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The Pinterceptor!
Woo!
It's time to let it boogie.
Let's do this.
Got a nice little low note. Seeing it sitting there is one thing, but driving it is a whole other can of worms.
Woo! Wow. Dude, it was the coolest thing. It sounds so loud. It's crazy.
You know, I don't know what a mini monster truck would feel like, but this thing is something for sure. It's kind of like a bucking Bronco.
Watch out.
It's like you're on the top of a fishing boat. It feels like it might flip over at any moment.
Just bouncing all over the place.
With the paint, I carried the Pinterceptor graphic up onto the roof. It's something that Alan and his wife designed. Worked out perfect. My kick is just exploring all different versions of building cars. I've built them low, built them weird, built them cool, and this one is definitely out there. My favorite thing about this is me driving up like a clown and everybody going, "What's wrong with that guy?" Kicks up a little dust. Runs better than I hope, man. You gotta check this out. So I told Alan, hey, saddle up, partner. Hop in that rig and see what it can do. All right, watch the shrubbery. Hey.
It was a little bouncy, but as far as driving it was super comfortable, felt solid.
You just see this thing, you don't even see the tires, you just see this machine coming over the bushes. So stupid. It's awesome.
Woo!